Let's now have a look at how we can personalize the navigation pane. And there are a number of things that you can do, such as changing your rule center menu, but also removing, for example, the departments menu and so on. But let's start by looking at the home menu. So the first thing that I can do is change the home menu. So remember, we already saw that the home menu is linked to your rule center, so that it contains normally all the features and the functions, in this case for a bookkeeper. But still it could contain some features, some functions that you might not need. And then it could be very useful that you can remove these functions and features and maybe instead add other features. So let's have a look at how we can do this. And also here I can simply right click on the navigation pane to go to Customize Navigation Pane. But I can also click on the application menu again, go to Customize, and then choose Customize Navigation Pane. So there we go. And again, I'm in my home menu. And here you can see the lists currently displayed. So what I can now do very easily is remove some of these lists. And suppose, for example, that I'm not using Intrastat journals, then I can simply select Intrastat journals and click on remove. So there you go, and they will not be displayed anymore. So now if I click on OK, you will see that the system will ask to restart. And there you go, so no Intrastat journals anymore, which could mean that now the menu is even more efficient for me. Now in the same way, you can also add items or lists. So let me show you. So if I go to Customize Navigation Pane, again, I have all my lists in my home menu. And suppose now I would like to add items, because even though I'm a bookkeeper, from time to time I will have to consult some item information. So for me it would be easy to also have items available in my home menu. I can now simply click here on Add. Then I can go to Warehouse, so to the place where I can find items in the Departments menu, so Planning and Execution, and there I can simply select Items. So now if I click on OK, you will see that items are added as the last list here in my home menu, and I can simply use now Move Up, Move Down to change the order. And so for example, if I put them just below vendors, you will see now that if the system restarts, that now you can go to items directly from your home menu. So also something that could be very interesting to do, adding lists to your rule center menu. So we're still using the bookkeeper rule center, and as we saw in the second module, we have a number of fixed menus, in this case home and departments, a number of typical rule center menus, which here are approval, posted documents and administration. But now I can also add menus myself. And suppose as a bookkeeper I need to do a monthly closing, then typically for that process I need, for example, a chart of accounts, I might need to do bank reconciliations and so on. Now in order to make this more efficient, it could be very useful to create a menu with all these different lists so that you don't have to search in the application when you want to do a monthly closing. Let me show you. So if I now right click and go to Customize Navigation Pane, I can click now on New, and this will allow me to create a new activity button. So let me enter a name, so monthly closing. There we go. I can enter an icon or select an icon, so this one. And now I can start adding lists. And let me add at random a couple of lists so that you get a grip of the concept. So I can click on Add. And like I just said, to do a monthly closing, I need my chart of accounts. So there we go. To do my monthly closing, I might need to do a bank reconciliation. So if I go to cash management, I can now select bank reconciliations. Maybe I need to calculate cash flow. So if I go to financial management, if I go to cash flow, I can go to my cash flow forecasts and so on. So you see all the lists that I might need in a specific process, which is now monthly closing, but which could also be a manufacturing or an inventory or a warehouse or a job process, whatever, I can add now in my new activity pane button. So let's go and have a look now how this is displayed. So the system will restart, and there you go. So you can see now that I have a new button, and if I click here, you can see the different lists that I have added. And now if I'm doing a monthly closing, no need to search for chart of accounts, for bank reconciliations, for cash flows, because they're all nicely displayed in my specific monthly closing menu. So besides customizing the home menu, we also know now how to add and set up new navigation pane buttons. But let's turn our attention now to departments menu. Because as you already know, the departments menu will offer us all the available functions and features in NAV. And I can imagine that's something that you don't want to make available for all users. Now you can remove the departments menu. So for a specific group of users, you could say that you don't want to display the departments menu for these users, so that they're limited to the functions and features of their role center. So that could be very interesting. However, take into account that the only way to add it again is by using the restore defaults function. And if you do this, all other modifications that you have done in the navigation pane are undone. So here again in my bookkeeper role center, you can see my different menus and also departments. And again, if I click on departments, all the functions will become available: finance, sales, purchase, warehouse, and so on. So again, I can imagine that you want to make this available for some users, but not for all users. So what you can do now is go to Customize Navigation Pane. I can now simply select Departments and click on Remove. There you go. And now if I click on OK, you will see now that I don't have a Departments menu anymore, which means that I have to do with all my role center menus and role center options. And so everything that I need should be now available in my role center, because I cannot go to the Departments menu anymore. Now suppose afterwards that you want to add it again, and that you say, okay, we have removed it a while ago, but now for this user or for this profile, we would like to add it again. Then, as I just explained, the only way to do this is by using the restore defaults function, because there's no way that I can add a menu or the departments menu otherwise. So now I will have to click on restore defaults, but again, take into account that by clicking on or using this function will also make all your other changes undone. So for example, my monthly closing menu will be removed, my Intrastat journal will be added again, and my items will also be removed again. So all the changes I made in the previous lessons will be undone. So there we go. So you can see now departments is displayed again, but indeed no monthly closing menu anymore, no items anymore, and my Intrastat journals are back there. So now if I click on OK, I will have my departments, no problem, but you can also see no monthly closing. So everything is restored to the default of my role center. So that's something that you might want to take into account before you remove the departments menu in Microsoft Dynamics NAV.